Welcome to Maximize Your True Potential, Strategies for Success, hosted by Ken Kingstead. Part 1, Introduction, Developing Your Business. This series will give you the edge to recognize and then achieve your goals through its philosophy of constant, never-ending improvement. Strategies that will become a fluid part of who you are. Maximize your true potential, Strategies for Success. Your first step to success, beyond your imagination.
Welcome. My name is Ken Kingstead. I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come to you today to help educate you on how to grow your business. I'll tell you what, the most important thing as a salesperson, as a manager, heck, as an owner, is to begin to look at every aspect of our dealership. And I'm saying our dealership, I'm referring to yours as well, as a salesperson. Now, when we come to work every day, how do we look at our business? Do we look at our business in the form of, this is my business specifically, or do I come to work every day as an employee and look at the business from an employee standpoint? There is a big difference. And my biggest focus here is to help us grow our business to a level where you're successful. Let's face it, right now we're exchanging our time for our dollars. And the last thing you do is you want to make a little bit of money and put a bunch of time in. We want to maximize our time, our energy, and our resources to the nth degree, if you will, every day we come to work. And how do you do that? I tell you what, you have to have a plan. I'm a big believer in systems. I'm a big believer in processes. And if we can begin to manage and work those systems and processes, what would happen? I'll tell you what, we should always be selling at least 15 cars a month. That's our end in mind, okay? And there are several areas in the dealership where we can make money. I'm telling you, the fresh walk-in guest is one area. That's a great area. You've got to take care of that business. But there are several other areas we need to look at in this process. This whole workshop we're going to be going through here together is going to be teaching us how to grow our business. How do you follow up intelligently with our unsold prospect? Why do they go home today? And if we do everything we possibly can to sell them a car today when they're here, and we don't sell them a car, we got the manager involved and everything, and they still went home, why? I'll tell you why. There's just a tremendous amount of vehicles out there to choose from today. And cars aren't cheap. Let's just face it. They're expensive, aren't they? So it's not our fault. I mean, we'll do everything we can through the process of the steps to the sale to grow our business. But sometimes, guess what? The majority of times, people are going to go home. NADA says right now that the closing ratio across the United States is at 20%. That means 80% of our customers are going home every single day. And we're spending a tremendous amount of money every month to bring them in. I mean, on average, a dealer right now is spending between $300 to $500 per retail unit they sell. So do the math. If you sell 100 cars a month, you're probably spending between $30,000 and $50,000 in advertising and only capturing 20%. So the follow-up area, the Florida follow-up, is a huge resource we need to grow into and understand. And the reason people don't do that is because they've never been trained on how to do it. Does that make sense? If I can give you the skills today that you can educate yourself on how to grow that area of your business called Florida follow-up, and you can sell an extra 2 to 3 car deals per month, what's that worth to you? Well, do the math. The second area we want to talk about is going to be consisting of specifically our phone up and our phone up follow-up process. Heck, we spend a ton of money to make that phone ring and the door swing, as I said, every single month, correct? But you know what NADA says? They say that we're closing 2 to 3% of all of our actual phone calls that come into our dealership. Is that a good job? I don't think so. As an owner, putting your ownership cap on, how would you feel about spending all this money every month and only getting 2 to 3% penetration or net delivery ratio to phone rings, to phone deliveries? And then the third area is the owner base. Heck, right now 90% of all the salespeople in America don't call back their sold customers. Can you imagine that? I mean, they've paid us. They've trusted us. They bought a vehicle from you. People buy from people they like. They trusted you. They wanted to buy from you. And then they never hear from you again. How do you feel? Do you feel like you really did make a connection with that customer? Do they feel like they made a connection with you? If after the sale's over, they never hear from you again. How do we call back our owner base and make sure that all is well with them and we can capture some referral business and grow that side of our business? So there are many areas that we're going to discuss this week and how to grow our business. But I'm a real big believer, like I said before, in systems and processes. I believe that in every dealership on the front end side, you've got 2 processes. Now take a look up here. You've got your steps to the sale. We're going to call it STS for short. And we know that according to the NADA, the National Automobile Dealers Association, we're closing about 20% of all of our walk-in guests, like I said a moment ago. So 20% of all of our customers that walk in, fresh walk-in opportunities, we close 1 out of 5, or 20%. The question is this, though. What are we doing with the other 80%? Where's it going? And why do they go home? I mentioned a few things a moment ago. A lot of choices out there, right? Cars are expensive. How about the internet? Is that a resource people are using to educate themselves daily? I'll tell you what, more than not are doing some form of education through the internet before even coming into your dealership. Heck, you can go on to Edmunds.com today and you can educate yourself on the different vehicles. Let's say I'm looking at an S10 pickup truck. What are vehicles would qualify as an S10? And it tells you, well, you should look at this vehicle, you should look at this vehicle, and it tells you, you should do your homework here, right? So even if they were the greatest salesperson in the world, we're still going to have more people leaving every month than are being sold every month. And that's my point. We need to understand that we have to maximize and work on what I call our business plan, or our business development system. Business development system refers to what is your business development system for your business. As an employee coming to work every day, do you have a business model that you're following? Are you managing that model? Because we got 80% of all these people that you've spoken to, they're leaving. You put time and energy into these people. You may have spoke to them for an hour or 2 hours, and they've gone home to think about it, right? Are you ever going to maximize or capture that time back by getting them to come back in so you can resell them a vehicle? Well, if you don't call them back effectively, when I say effectively, I'm talking about intelligently, not just calling them back and saying, did you make a decision yet? What do I have to do to earn your business? We're going to actually show you with some key words and phrases how we can get them in the right way, non-confrontationally. So it's a win-win for everybody. But 80% of all your unsold prospects are going home to think about it. Okay, so my goal here is putting our people, that's you, that's me, that's the dealer, that's everybody, into this process. I don't believe that one person can run this process. It's got to become the culture, if you will, of how the store works. Does that make sense? So we put all people. That's you and me and everybody. Everybody goes into the process. And our end in mind, whenever you start a process, you want to always look to, why are we doing this process? We do this process for one thing. We want to get to where everyone is selling at least 15 cars a month or more. Wouldn't it be great? Hey, heck, right now, a national average for salespeople across the United States is 8 to 10. 8 to 10 cars per month, per person. I mean, how do you make a living on 8 to 10 cars a month? I mean, do the math. I mean, figure it out. My gosh, how do you live on 8 to 10 cars? Wouldn't it be great if we got everybody selling at least 15, bare bones minimum 15 cars a month? Do the math there, Mr. Dealer. 15 times that's 150 cars versus your 100. And guess what? How are you spending any more money in advertising to bring them in? No, you're just managing the processes more effectively. All right, so again, one of the biggest things to do this, though, is we got to put a process in place called coaching. I'm a huge believer in coaching. What is coaching? Not managing. There's a difference there, isn't there? I think coaching is what we need to be doing. I think of a coach, I think it's someone who's ready to motivate you, empower you, work with you, educate you. So we need to grow our business intelligently, but we need people up here, these coaches, to more effectively grow our business. Okay? Let's face it, everyone who's a manager in our dealerships, okay, they actually sold cars, they worked their way up in the company, okay? And as an owner, who would you want managing or leading your store? Someone who is successful at it, right? So as you grow in the business, the knowledge you gain, right, you begin to take up and up and up, and as you grow up, you go to sales manager, you go to general sales manager, general manager, maybe an owner even one day, okay? The point is that as that manager, if you will, or coach, is responsible to do one thing. Is to transfer what made them so successful when they sold cars into all their people. Is that making sense? If they can't do that, what's going to happen? Well, the people won't be selling 15 cars a month. But you know what the biggest deterrent to that is? Is time. Let's face it, the car business is a very busy place. It's busy, 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 and when it's not busy, ironically, a lot of managers like to look for busy things to do. In other words, they look for reasons to create some activities. So instead of spending time and sitting down and actually coaching and mentoring and transferring the knowledge into the people to make them better and more efficient with their time and energy and resources, they just kind of look for other things. They pour gas on the floor and throw a match on there and they scream and holler about it. Does that mean, I don't know if that makes sense all the way, but it's not in every store, but it's in a lot of stores that I've seen. Okay? So we need to understand that coaching is a whole lot different than managing. And you need to make some time management to get to that level. Doing one-on-ones, analyzing who they are and what their goals are in life, so you can sit there and set some short-term, long-term goals for every person that comes to work. And there's a process. We're going to get into all of this, during this process, this whole workshop. So coaching, and also I believe in a big thing called mentoring. Now, mentoring is different. How many people can you actually mentor? You can only mentor maybe a handful of people effectively. Coaching, you can coach a lot of people. Heck, I'm coaching you right now. Okay, but when it gets down to the meat and potatoes, if you will, of sitting down and going through your goals, going through what you're trying to accomplish this week, this month, this year, I need to develop more of a tighter rapport with those people. So they have more confidence in me. And I can then put them under my wing, I guess, and lift them up and carry them. So again, mentoring is more of the one-on-one, and coaching is more of the, if you broadcasting, some training information. Make sense? Right now I'm coaching. I'm not mentoring. Does that make sense, everybody? So the mentoring comes back to the day-to-day routines in the dealership environment. Okay? Fantastic. Now, in order to get to the 15 cars per month, we have to do a few things. Take a look. You have to put in some accountability. What is accountability? Heck, you know what? The first thing a salesperson says when he sees the word accountability is he gets real upset and he runs. Why? Because people who are in the car business are kind of like, they're more of a free spirit, if you will. Okay, they don't want accountability. But I tell you what, is accountability a good thing if, in fact, you're selling at least 15 cars a month and earning an annual income of at least $75,000 a year? That's a good trade-off, I would think. Now, accountability is probably not a good thing if, in fact, you have a bunch of it and you're selling 8 cars a month. Then, in fact, you do what? You probably end up getting, leaving. It wouldn't be making it, But obviously, if you're selling 8 to 10 cars a month over here and you've got the coaching and the mentoring in, I guess maybe this business isn't made for you. That's a kind of a point you got to look at it, If I'm giving you all the skills and I'm working with you daily and I'm trying to educate you and move you to the next level and we're just not getting there, we're not getting through, and you're still doing 8 cars a month, either you just don't care enough to apply what you've been taught, or B, you're not teachable. Either way, we have to make a change probably. Again, it's just a personal thing. It's my own philosophy, but you do what you guys have to do. But my thinking is, I'm trying to create a group of all-stars for my team, because that's what this is. It's a team process, isn't it? Now, accountability is great because it begins to show us through, I like to call it, reports. Reports are great. We have to be able to identify strengths and weaknesses of your individual business plan. If I can't identify where your strengths are, how do I help you? In other words, do I just do basic training for everybody? Just if one person's really strong in their presentation to demo ratio, let's say they got 90% presentations to demos, do I want to sit there for an hour and teach this guy how to get someone from the presentation over to the demo ride? No, heck no. But if I got someone who's doing maybe a 25 or a 30% presentation to a demo, guess what? As a coach and as a mentor, I need to do a couple things. Sit down and show them what I did that built my skills in getting someone from the, the walk around to getting inside my demo to drive my car. Does that make sense, everybody? So we make customized training built around the reports. And, I know every dealership's got reports. Heck, you can use your desk log. You've got Reynolds & Reynolds has got some reports in their program. ADP has reports that you can generate through their follow-up program. And there's a ton of different CRM tools out there you can utilize. But I tell you what, they're worth their weight in gold if we can use them. Does that make sense? But if you don't have it in place, heck, as a salesperson, begin to track it yourself by hand. It doesn't matter. This is your business plan. And if you expect us to make a 6-figure income or close to it, you got to do some things different. Make sense? If you've always done what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always gotten. You got to change your approach if you want something to be different for yourself. Okay, now over here, through the reports, we have accountability and reporting, which is a good thing, okay? Over on this side here, we have training. And again, I say training because the training ties into what the reports tell us. Again, I want to make that custom training around what your shortcomings are. I want to build on your shortcomings and strengthen your strengths. Does that make sense? As a coach, that's my job. And I mean, there's if you go to the gym, let's just say hypothetically, let's take an analogy outside the car business. If you go to the gym and you work out one time, is that it? Do you go back again and again and again, or do you just do it one time? Well, if you did it one time, you'd get sore and you never go back again. You're going to get frustrated with yourself. You're not going to improve yourself. It's that constant going back 3-4 days a week, 45 minutes to an hour at a time, if you want to get some real difference or change in your cardiovascular or toning your muscles. Okay? So the fact of the matter is through training, ongoing training, we condition ourselves, just like when we go to the gym. So through training, we can condition ourselves the proper way. In other words, there's 4 ways of learning. There's 4, keys to learning. You're unconsciously incompetent. You're ignorant to boot. Then someone exposes you to something. Then you become consciously incompetent. Now you know that you don't know. Before that, you didn't even know you didn't know. And as you practice and you go through the motions and you do this again and again, you become consciously competent. You've got to think about it. You've got to really pay attention to it, but you can do it. And over a period of time, what happens? You become unconsciously competent. It's kind of like brushing your teeth today. When you get up in the morning, you just brush your teeth. It's not a challenge. But right now, I've got a little 3-year-old boy at home. He can't brush his teeth by himself. He can't do a good job at it, at least. I still got to help him. But you know what? In a little while, he'll do it. He'll be able to do it really well because it's repetition. Repetition is the mother of all skill. And until we can do it again and again and again, guess what's going to happen? It'll always be a challenge for you. Heck, people who are successful, regardless of what they do, they've done it 1,000 times. A guy who plays the piano or a gal who sings or it doesn't matter what the person's doing, they're not born. They don't come into the world with this natural gift of being just a pro at it. Things may come easier for some than others. Don't get me wrong on that at all, okay? But it all takes effort. You think Michael Jordan was the greatest ball player of all time just naturally? Or did he have to practice and practice and practice? Did Larry Bird, he's known as being one of the greatest of all time too. If you went to a practice when he was playing, guess what happens? He's there before everybody else. And guess what happened? At the end of the practice, he'd still be there. He did a commercial not too long ago with Michael Jordan, one of these Lay's potato chip commercials. And his job in this commercial was to miss a free throw. It took him like 15 attempts to miss. He's so conditioned not to miss that when he was told to miss, it took him like 15 times to actually miss the darn free throw. Again, that's where we need to be with ourselves. Not just in the steps to the sale, but in the business development side of things as well. Is this making sense? Again, this is a big process here, but my goal for us all is to get ourselves up here. And again, one of the most important things is that we have to identify is that people, when they come in our dealership, they're judging us. They judge us in about 30 seconds. J.D. Powers just did a study not too long ago. They said 25% of our customers that came in left because of a bad experience. They didn't feel like we cared about them. They felt like, they were being pushed or shoved into a direction they didn't want to go. Okay? So this whole business plan we're talking about here is being able to understand our steps to our sale effectively and then be able to manage our business development process efficiently. And with that, you're going to grow yourself to a level that you've never dreamed you could get to. 15 cars should be the worst case scenario for everybody. And you know what's going to be a great thing? You'll be blessed for it, okay? Because you'll be making more money. You'll have more. You're not working harder, just working smarter. I'm not here to tell you today, I want you to work an extra 15 hours a week. That's not my goal. My goal here today is to help you, show you what the top 2% in America right now as salespeople are doing on a day-to-day basis. Again, success in life leaves clues. Failures in life leave clues as well. Let's model the very, very best and get the results of the very, very best. Listen, until next time, have a great day. Thank you.